Perfect preservation, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect preservation. That's what our Muslim friends have been telling us for decades. Perfect preservation, right down to the letter, from the time it was revealed to Muhammad. Seeking evidence for this claim, we opened their most trusted sources, and we read about entire chapters of the Quran being lost forever, large passages being lost forever, verses being eaten by a sheep, lost forever. How did our Muslim friends respond when we showed them that their own sources repeatedly declare that the Quran was changed over and over and over? They said, perfect preservation, right down to the letter. Hatun Tash and Jay Smith went to Speaker's Corner with 26 different Arabic Qurans. Not 26 different translations, 26 different Arabic Qurans. How did our Muslim friends respond? Perfect preservation, right down to the letter. Non-Muslims are publishing entire books filled with Quran variants. How do our Muslim friends respond? Perfect preservation, right down to the letter. Fortunately, after decades of non-Muslims showing Muslims what's in their own sources and their own manuscripts, after decades of Muslim apologists lying about the history of the Quran, there are finally some Muslim scholars who are starting to admit that there are holes in the narrative.
And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.
Why are they finally acknowledging that there's a problem? Because the evidence is piling up too fast. And Muslim scholars are realizing that the longer they deny reality, the more shame and embarrassment they'll face later. But let's focus on Dr. Shabir Ali, who has recently admitted that there are different Qurans in different parts of the world.
Today, most Muslims read the Quran in a text that is referred to as the Egyptian edition of 1924. That's how scholars refer to it. Most Muslims may not have realized that this is the designation for that manuscript, for that text. To Muslims in general, this is just simply the Quran. But this is not the only text of the Quran that is read throughout the world.
He's also admitted that there are differences in Quran manuscripts.
So there was this period in which Muslims had the opportunity to teach others the Quran without insisting on the precise words. Recently, a manuscript has been discovered from Sana'a in Yemen, and it's referred to as the Sana'a manuscript. That manuscript has two layers of Quranic writing. The lower layer has been scraped off, and the upper layer has the Quranic text written over. Now, the upper layer text quite closely corresponds to what Muslims are reading in the world today as the text of the Quran. The lower text that has been scraped off has some variation from what Muslims are reading in today's text.
Because Shabir knows what non-Muslim scholars are finding when they go through manuscripts of the Quran. They're finding missing words, added words, changed words, words moved around, words written over, words erased. It's a giant mess. As an example, yesterday, Dr. Dan Brubaker, a textual critic of Quran manuscripts, posted a video where he shows a single page of a Quran manuscript. He shows that there are no less than 11 textual variants and corrections on that one page. Different Arabic words, different meanings, different translations. And what are our Muslim friends going to conclude from this? Perfect preservation, right down to the letter. My Muslim friends, do you have any clue what kind of damage you're doing to the future of your religion right now? Once this lie has been exposed, possibly the biggest lie in history, the supposed perfect preservation of a book that was repeatedly changed and corrupted, once this lie has been exposed, we are never going to believe anything you tell us about your religion ever again. When you lie to our faces about what we can see with our own eyes, you destroy your own credibility. When your own sources say that entire chapters of the Quran were lost, and that large passages were lost, and that countless verses were lost, and you say, perfect preservation right down to the letter, it becomes impossible to believe you. When you say that there are no textual variants in the entire history of the Quran, while textual critics who go through the manuscripts say that they found tens of thousands of textual variants, there's simply no way to take you seriously ever again.
One question: if I were to give you a blank mushaf, yeah, and tell you to write what is munazzal verbatim from Allah into that mushaf with no human interference, would you write something which corresponds?
It's not an easy answer. It's not an easy yes or no. It is enough for the Muslim to believe the Quran is the uncreated speech of Allah. The Quran is preserved. The Quran is known. The Quran is mutawatir. And alhamdulillah, all of the qira'at are the Quran. All of the qira'at are authentic. Alhamdulillah. Leave it at that, ya akhi. It is enough for the Muslim to know that the Quran is the speech of Allah that has been protected, and what we recite is the kalam of Allah.
Saya tidak pernah menghina Quran. Saya hanya menunjukkan apa yang memang berbeda. Mungkin isu ini jarang diungkap secara terbuka. Tapi saya tidak berbohong dan saya tidak sedang memfitnah, saya tidak melecehkan Al-Quran atau umat Islam. Tidak. Memang seperti ini. Quran tidak seragam teksnya, itu fakta. Saya hanya menampilkan fakta bahwa jika ada yang mengatakan Quran seragam, sempurna, sampai titik koma, itu bohong.
Kita ambil hikmahnya, bahwa dengan beredarnya video itu, maka masyarakat Islam Indonesia jadi mengetahui bahwa terdapat perbedaan sistem penulisan di dalam Al-Quran. LPMQ itu singkatan dari Lajnah Pentasuhan Mushaf Al-Quran, lembaga yang khusus ditunjuk untuk menangani Al-Quran dan percetakannya.
Kita bangga menghafal Al-Quran tapi tidak memahami Al-Quran. Senang mengulang berbahasa Arab tapi tidak mengerti bahasa Arab. Suka membaca Al-Quran tapi tidak memahami maknanya. Akhirnya apa? Menjadi keledai. Menjadi keledai di Indonesia.
Bacaan wa mallahu bighafilin amma ta'malun, ya, dianggap berbeda dengan amma ya'malun. Baik itu ta'malun ataupun ya'malun, itu dua-duanya adalah muwafaqah dengan salah satu kaidah bahasa Arab yang sahih, yang fushah, ya. Itu yang pertama. Jadi untuk rukun, kriteria pertama, maka perbedaan katsiran dan kabiran selesai karena muwafaqahnya terpenuhi.
Bagaimana mungkin takmalun dimaknai sama dengan ya'malun? Secara literal, secara definisi, takmalun itu kamu kerjakan. Menggunakan kata ganti orang kedua jamak, kamu, kalian. Ya'malun itu menggunakan kata ganti orang ketiga jamak, mereka. Secara literal, terjemahan makna dari Quran waris dan hafiz di surah Al-Baqarah 85 ini sudah berbeda. Kamu duduk dengan mereka duduk, ini sudah berbeda. Kalau ditafsirkan, kalau masuk ke ranah tafsir, kamu kerjakan itu pada akhirnya sama dengan yang kalian kerjakan, ini bukan urusan saya serahkan ini kepada urusan kalian. Karena itu urusan masalah tafsir. Bagaimana Quran ditafsirkan. Saya hanya membacakan teks apa adanya, di sini bilang kamu, di sana bilang mereka. Di sini bilang laknan kabiran, laknan katsiran, di sini bilang besar kabir, sini bilang katsir banyak, many. Rumah saya besar, rumah saya banyak, ini beda. Mengenai Anda tafsirkan besar itu sama dengan banyak, ini urusan tafsir, saya tidak mau masuk, saya tidak mau ikut-ikut. Saya hanya membaca teks, memang teksnya berbeda. Saya tambahkan lagi ya, contoh. Di dalam surah Al-Baqarah 140. Hafiz membacanya takuluna. Kalian berkata. Kalian berkata. Waris membacanya yakuluna. Bukan kalian tapi mereka berkata. Ini dua kata yang artinya berbeda. Kamu dengan mereka ini berbeda. Kalau mau ditafsirkan kamu dengan mereka pada akhirnya sama. Ini ranah tafsir kalian, itu urusan kalian, saya tidak mau ikut campur. Saya hanya menunjukkan bukti, ini buktinya. Quran Maroko berbeda dengan Quran Indonesia. Di dalam surah Ali Imran 146, versinya Hafaz tertulis katalah, berperang, to fight. Sedangkan di versi yang lain, bukan katalah, di dalam waris tertulis kutila, kutila terbunuh. Ini dua hal yang berbeda. Nabi-nabi bertempur, pada waktu Nabi bertempur belum tentu mati. Banyak Nabi berperang dan dia tidak mati di medan pertempuran. Tapi kalau kalimatnya tertulis, dan nabi-nabi terbunuh, kutila, otomatis dia sudah mati. Jadi katalah dengan kutila, ini memang perbedaan bacaan. Perbedaan bacaan ini artinya beda banget. Terbunuh itu pasti mati. Bertempur, berperang, belum tentu mati. Kalian dengan mereka ini berbeda. Besar dengan banyak berbeda. Dia dengan kami berbeda.
I'll do the Hafs, you do the Warsh, okay? So Hafs is the one that was created in 1924. The Warsh is now very popular in Northern Africa. On the one side, it says, the only owner of the day of recompense, that's Maliki, has been changed to
Malik,
which
the
is
king of
the day. And so they say this all the time, Mr. Smith, the owner of the day or the king, it's the same thing.
Let me add something here. I would tell you, I did a study on this, and there is another reading by Abu Hanifa, and it says Malaka, meaning possessed the day of judgment.
Okay, so he possessed. So there is a theological difference. Here we have now Surah 2, Ayah 10. You have Yaksibuna in Hafs, which says, in their hearts is a disease, and Allah increases their disease. A painful doom is theirs because they lie. It's changed to?
Yukadhibun, meaning they accused others of lying.
So, significance, are they doomed because they lie or because they accuse others of lying?
That's right.
Significant.
That's right.
Surah 2, Ayah 58. Nagfiru is, and when he said, enter this town and eat bountifully and say, forgive us, and we shall forgive you your sins.
Nice. That's right. And the next one, it's yughfaru in a passive, basically, and it shall be forgiven.
So, who forgives sins? Is it we, God, or are they arbitrarily forgiven?
That's right.
Huge difference. Hafs in Surah 2, Ayah 125 is, and take you has been changed to
ittakhadhu, they took or have taken.
So, Hafs takes is addressing a plural form. Do they take this place now, or has it already been taken?
That's right.
In Surah 2, Ayah 140, in the Hafs, it says, or do you say that Abraham, Jacob, and his offspring were Jews?
In the Warsh says, and or do they say?
Now, who knows better than Allah, you or the others? In the Hafs, you is plural.
That's right.
So you can see there's a problem there. And here, Surah 2, Ayah 184, Miskeenan is one poor person. For those who can fast with difficulty, they happen to feed a one poor person, is changed to
Masakin. And that's really important. Many, by the way, poor persons. Why this is important? Because remember, Islam is a religion of works. And this is about fasting. Feeding one is different than feeding many.
There you go.
And this plural, meaning at least three.
So I'd like to know which one I'm required if I don't fast. Here you have, in them is a great sin, has been changed to?
Basically plenty or many. And here is a great example of what we were talking about, the dotting. Because in one, the dot was below, here, three above. That's what makes the difference here.
So is drinking wine and gambling a great sin or plenty of sin? So you can see that would have a huge significance. Surah 33, ayah 68 has been cursed them with a great curse, or in the case of Warsh,
Much curses or many curses.
Let's go on. Here you have dafu. Dafu was repelling. Allah's repelling some has been changed to,
Allah defending.
well, so did Allah repel some men, or did Allah defend against men? What action did Allah use?
That's
Repel,
right.
which is offensive, or defend, which is defensive.
That's right.
And there you have wa kafalaha, for her Lord made her grow in a good manner and put her under care of Zakaria. This is talking about Mary.
That's right.
It has been changed in the Warsh to,
Zakaria, basically, or Zakaria, I should say, took charge of her.
so did Allah put Zakaria in charge of Mary, or did Zakaria take charge himself?
One is active, one is passive.
There you go. And you can see it's by two different characters. Surah 3, ayah 79. Be you Rabbaniyun, because you are teaching the book, has been changed.
You know the book.
Do believers teach the book, or do they simply know the book? No, many people know a book, but are not capable of teaching it.
That's right.
This is interesting. Qatala versus Kutila. And how many a prophet fought, with whom were many worshippers of the Lord, has changed to,
How many prophets were killed?
did the prophets simply fight, or were they killed? Now, if I were a prophet, I would rather fight than be killed, as the former survives.
That's right.
Surah 6, ayah 115. Is the word of God fulfilled, or the words of God fulfilled? The singular Hafs word doesn't agree with the plural form of the second sentence. So there you have a grammatical mistake.
Absolutely. And now, are we talking about, what do we mean by words? That like the whole book, basically, or a specific passage, or a specific word if it is in a singular?
Now, I've got 70 of these, and we could continue on and on and on. I think we could stop right there. 'Cause
Absolutely.
You can go up on, if you can go up on Fander Films, I've got all 70 up there on Fander Films. And we're finding an awful lot of kickback. An awful lot of kickback from Muslims. Why do you think there's so much kickback from this?
Well, because, of course, this is something strange and unusual for them to see and hear, because we're used to the idea as Muslims when I was growing up that there's only one Quran, unchanged, perfect, and now you're telling me it has a lot of changes and a lot of differences. We just showed that it's not as simple as just ahruf or different qira'at.
In every case, we just looked at about 10 of the 70 that we have, of the 59,000 that exist.
That's right.
We just looked at a just smidgen of them, and we noticed that in every case they changed the meaning and they changed the theology.
That's correct.
What are your conclusions on that then, now that you've seen all this today?
The Quran is a man-made book that has a lot of changes, that it went through a process of early editing and redactions that continued for a while. We're not talking a couple of years, we're talking hundreds of years, and that more and more discoveries are supporting this particular theory now.
Quran tidak seragam teksnya itu fakta. Saya hanya menampilkan fakta bahwa jika ada yang mengatakan Quran seragam, sempurna, sampai titik koma, itu bohong.
One question. If I were to give you a blank mushaf, yeah, and tell you to write what is munazzal verbatim from Allah into that mushaf with no human interference, would you write something which corresponds?
It's not an easy answer. It's not an easy yes or no. It is enough for the Muslim to believe the Quran is the uncreated speech of Allah. The Quran is preserved. The Quran is known. The Quran is mutawatir. And alhamdulillah, all of the qira'at are the Quran. All of the qira'at are authentic. Alhamdulillah. Leave it at that, ya akhi. It is enough for the Muslim to know that the Quran is the speech of Allah that has been protected, and what we recite is the kalam of Allah. It is enough for the Muslim to know that the Quran is the speech of Allah that has been protected, and what we recite is the kalam of Allah.
My Muslim friends, do you have any clue what kind of damage you're doing to the future of your religion right now? Once this lie has been exposed, possibly the biggest lie in history, the supposed perfect preservation of a book that was repeatedly changed and corrupted. Once this lie has been exposed, we are never going to believe anything you tell us about your religion ever again. When you say that there are no textual variants in the entire history of the Quran, while textual critics who go through the manuscripts say that they've found tens of thousands of textual variants, there's simply no way to take you seriously ever again.
Oleh karena itu, yuk sekarang kita berpikir, jangan takut murtad dong. Daripada kamu mempercayai sesuatu yang tidak benar.